Well, my name's John Kirk, and I'm going back to school to finish up my second degree. I'm trying to become a CPA and hopefully join the FBI someday, and so we'll see how that works out. All started from a situation. I went through a divorce, and it was a kind of a rough time in my life. And I was trying to find a new church, and Mark kind of spoke about SCC and kind of told me a little bit about it and how he had a great time, great people, and so I decided to try it out, and I instantly knew this is where I wanted to be. Without Mark, without hearing about it, there's absolutely no way I would have known about it. And he talked it up constantly. I mean, it was in his conversations pretty much every time I talked to him, and that was a big deciding factor for me. I'm leading a young men's group, and I help out with the computer work and just the tech in general, and I try to get everyone coordinated so we can get all the tech work done. It's definitely helped quite a bit because it gives you responsibility, and it helps you get into church and you get to know people a lot better than you would if you just show up Sunday at 10:30 and then go home. Especially just serving, like any type of serving opportunity, you get to know people so much better, and it's tremendous in your walk with faith. Forgiving others and just what Kenny was talking about in Where is the Love, the biggest thing is to forgive others even when they betray your trust and they're not sorry. Like Kenny said, it's easy to forgive others when they're nice to you and kind to you, but to forgive others who just don't care, it's tougher. And so that's what I'm working on, and it's a bigger challenge. It would definitely be to trust in the Lord no matter what, even when you go through rough times and you feel like you're kind of all alone, and you definitely hit a rough patch or your world turns upside down, that the Lord is always going to be with you. And like in Genesis, when Joseph was betrayed by his brothers and he was in prison and everything seemed hopeless, God turned it around, and he said later, what you had meant as evil, God had turned to good. And it just takes time. You just have to trust in the Lord, and the biggest thing is to be patient.
Brock Halbrook. I work with Covidian Healthcare. I handle medical supplies in all of Oklahoma and Northwest Arkansas, and have a little girl named Shay and another little girl named Emily.
And I'm Kathleen, and I am a private scrub tech for Dr. Darla Lofgren. She's a GYN's doctor here in Tulsa, and my other job is being a mommy to little Emily.
Well, I went to SCC first because of my wife, and I saw in this awesome movie, Happy Wife, Happy Life, so that's what got me to SCC. But once I was there, I definitely saw the involvement, the ability to connect with Christ, the ability to really step up and have that kind of a role. It was a missing element in my life. And prior, I was going to another church where I felt literally like a dust ball on the wall, and got to the point where I was just going through a routine, and you almost found yourself waking up Sunday mornings trying to find an excuse not to go to church, where now you wake up Sunday morning and you look for excuses to go to church. So. What I really enjoy the most about community group is it has to be definitely the connecting with others. Not only do you have a chance to connect with Christ, but you really get a chance to really dive in depth about the day's, the sermon that you heard. Really get in depth with it. Take a look at how that really applies to your life and everything that you do on a weekly basis. And it really allows you to really sit back and put things in perspective instead of just really going to church and hearing a message. You actually really get to dissect that message and see firsthand how it not only applies to your life, but other people around you that that you've grown close with through the weeks.
I like community group because I feel like I'm part of something. Like I can go to church and hear the sermon, and I can come to community group and I can talk about what the message meant to me, and people can tell me what the message meant to them, and it makes me understand. It makes me just understand the message better.
Really what I've learned, definitely patience and faith. It seems like everything that we constantly tie back to it revolves patience on our side and faith in God. He has an elaborate plan set out for each and every one of us, and even though it may not make the most sense in our minds, it makes perfect sense to Him, and you just got to have patience and faith.
I think the last few series have really taught me about being patient, being still, and just letting God do His thing and take care of us, and that everything works out for a reason, some way or another. I think I would tell people that God is involved in everything. Even if you don't understand what's going on right now in your life, there might be something that happened a month ago that you look back now and go, oh, that's why that happened. He did that. He made that work. God has a hand in everything, and He will take care of you as long as you are patient and you believe in Him. He'll take care of everything. I like serving because it gets me out of my shell. Like I seem to people that know me as a very outgoing person, but I'm really not. I'm pretty reserved when it comes to meeting new people, and being on the guest relations team has made me kind of try to be more open and more out there and willing to just walk up to someone and go, hey, I've never seen you here before. How are you? My name is Kathleen. And I just feel like it's really helping me become more open to being outside of my bubble.
And the only advice that I could have for someone is I've probably been in that very seat that you're sitting in right now when you're not really doing anything, and you probably have a voice inside of your head screaming to get out, to do something. And the best advice that I could give you is listen to that voice and do it.
I'm Cody Lassiter. I work for AT&T. I have a beautiful wife, Diana. I have a son, Kyle, and a daughter, Bella.
And I'm Diana Lassiter, and I stay at home with the kiddos. Well, family told us about SCC. We came in the first time, and I can honestly say, we walked in the first time, I saw the environment, I saw how welcoming it was, and I told him that day, I said, this is our church. I know this is our church, and we came ever since. Okay. After we got done with service, we were invited to lunch, and we sat at the lunch. After many people had welcomed us from the second we walked through the door, going into lunch, we sat down at lunch, and we were just surrounded. People came by and introduced themselves. Christy came by, she came over, she sat with us, carried on conversations about us, her kids, our kids, and right there, I mean, that was incredible. It was incredible to feel like about somebody, their family, before we even left there that day.
the feeling of community. Being in community group is the name is a good name for a community group because you truly do feel as part of a community, and it's the first time in my life that I've actually felt part of a group like that. I've always had friends, but it's the first time that you get together and you discuss your ideas, your beliefs, what you want on a level like that.
I also like having one another to lean on, and when you have a prayer request out there that you have several people praying for you, and it's getting done.
Well, I think South Kids is an awesome place. Kyle absolutely loves South Kids. Last Sunday, whenever we went to pick him up, I said, "It's time to go." He said, "Oh, do we have to go right now?" And I said, "That's the greatest compliment anybody can give you, is whenever your child does not want to leave, they want to stay here." Kyle absolutely loves it. He would stay there all day if he could, and that's important to us, that he loves it that much. He really is learning and being part of that environment. Serving, you feel part of something. You're helping set up, whenever we go in early and we help set up the church, or, even if it's just chairs or picking up after, we often will try and do something like that. And it's being part of the community and helping out. It makes you feel like you're taking ownership of it, that it's part of you and what you're doing. So. Family Life series, I think, was both of our favorites. We talked about it. It inspired a lot of conversation between us and how a family model is supposed to be organized around God. That's not it, but the way that series explained it, I think, really opened my eyes to how important it is to have God first and foremost in your family, and how it pulls you together.
I would just tell them to basically stand still and just, He's got a path for you. He's got a path, and sometimes we work against what He is trying to do for us, and we're trying to go a different direction. If we just, stand still and realize that He has a path for us, and if we give it time to get in there, it will go that way, and it's always perfect. He always has the best path for us. We can't do that path on our own. And so sometimes, Sarah said it recently, we get in His way. We get in His way trying to go our way.